especially now that I'm at the school with all the shootings at schools and things like that.
Concealed weapon classes are becoming more available as more shootings raise safety concerns.
Salt Lake City is ranked in the top 5 places porch theft is most likely to occur.
Salt Lake Police released body cam footage from the fatal shooting of a police officer earlier this month.
Welcome to Newsline. It's Wednesday, November 28th. I'm Simeon Toronto.
And I'm Cristina Bolaños.
Thousands of Central American migrants are living in tents on the Mexico side, still holding on to hope that they'll win asylum and be allowed into the U.S.
However, many others are choosing to end their long journey and to return to their home countries. Camila Bernal is in San Ysidro, California, near the U.S.-Mexico border with more info.
End in sight. Authorities here in the United States say it's going to take between 5 and 6 weeks to begin processing the migrants that came as part of this latest caravan. They say there's about 2,000 people that came ahead of them who are seeking asylum. They will be processed first, and then they will move on to about 6,000 people who are part of this caravan. Now, they do say that the processing here at the San Ysidro Port of Entry is going to take about 2 days per migrant. That puts us well into next year with this entire situation. The federal police in Mexico going to the campsite where the migrants are, telling them to go back to their home countries. Some of them voluntarily deporting, getting on buses and heading back to Central America. We spoke to a Honduran mom who told us in Spanish why she wanted to leave and go back to Honduras.
El hambre que aguanta uno ya.
Now, she says there is hunger, there is suffering, there is no education, no health for her children back home, but she says she prefers to be in her country versus being killed by bullets here in the United States. That is what Carmen Mejia, that migrant from Honduras, is saying. Others are saying that they want to stay in Mexico. They're asking the president-elect, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, who takes office Saturday, to help them find a solution, to help them find a job in Mexico so that they can have a future there, while others simply say that they're going to come to the United States. They have a hope to have a future here, and they say they are not giving up. Reporting in San Ysidro, California, I'm Camila Bernal. Now back to you.
Tentative funeral plans for slain South Salt Lake police officer David Romrell have been announced. Officer Romrell, who was run over and killed on Saturday, leaves a widow and an infant child behind. The tentative date for his funeral is December 5th, and the place is Maverick Center in West Valley City. South Salt Lake Chief Jack Caruth says plans could change and they will keep the community updated.
Today, the Salt Lake City Police Department released body cam footage of the night when officer killed 30-year-old Cody Belgard. The body cam footage shows that 5 officers fired weapon at Belgard. Police say 4 officers used Glock handguns and 1 used a shotgun. Belgard did not respond to the officers' commands. The police on scene offered medical help to Belgard, but he died later at the hospital. The West Valley Police Department and the District Attorney's Office is still investigating this shooting.
The Armed Self-Defense Institute holds classes so people can obtain a concealed carrier permit. Newsline reporter Michaela Hewardine got to see just how important having a permit is. Michaela, what were the people's attitudes about the class?
Questions were raised and a genuine want for safety seemed to be the drive of the day. With the shootings that go on all around the country, it is more important than ever to make sure that if you carry, you're doing it the right way. 38 people attended the concealed carry permit class in Payson on Tuesday night. Students in the class had positive outlooks about the instruction and information. Spencer Rance is the instructor of this class and provides all of the necessary steps to become a legal carrier.
The first step is taking a class from a certified instructor. Once you've taken the class, you need to get pictures, you need to get fingerprints, and then you have to pass an FBI background check.
The class discusses different aspects of gun handling safety, like situations that you might be put in and gun compatibility.
The majority of self-defense shootings happen in low-light conditions, like nighttime.
Rand says it's important to get your permit so that you know the laws, so you'll know where you can carry, where you can't, when you're allowed to use lethal force, and when you're not.
We're going to try to talk a lot about laws and when you can shoot, when you can't, where you can carry, and all that stuff, and really help you with the mindset of self-defense.
The students come from all different backgrounds and have their own reasoning for becoming certified.
Since I was little, I've just always wanted to carry, and especially now that I'm at the school, with all the shootings at schools and things like that, it just makes me feel more comfortable. I have 3 of my own kids that go to the same school that I teach at.
So that just in case I'm that person that's there to stop something, I want to be that person that can stop something.
The Institute and Range are based in Orem, but they do classes all over Utah. To sign up or for more information, go to trainasdi.com. The next class is being held tonight in Logan at 6:30 p.m.
That looks like a great opportunity. Thanks, Michaela.
The latest draft of Prop 2 says that the state can take up to 2 weeks to recall a bad batch of medical marijuana. The new draft says that the right to hold batches of medical marijuana for investigation. As the state investigates, they are not required to inform the general public of the potentially bad batch for 2 weeks. The producer of the marijuana also has time to appeal the decision if the marijuana is bad. This means that Utahns could be using bad medical marijuana without knowing right away, just like the recent recall of romaine lettuce. This draft of Prop 2 will not be final until December.
Salt Lake City has a new candidate for mayor in next year's election. David Ibarra is a businessman and philanthropist who grew up in Salt Lake City. He is the son of a Mexican immigrant and a Caucasian mother. If elected, he would be the first minority mayor in Salt Lake City. He gathered with supporters yesterday to announce his bid for mayor. He says the homeless problem and the need for cleaner streets is what inspired him to run for office.
Salt Lake City is ranked 2nd in the nation for porch pirates to strike. Porch pirates are thieves who walk away with packages that were delivered and left on doorsteps and porches. Austin, Texas is the worst place in the U.S. for porch theft. Salt Lake City comes in 2nd on that list, followed by Miami, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, and Durham, North Carolina. Surprisingly, New York City is ranked number 1 for the least likely place for a package to be stolen.
A new report says that Salt Lake City has 2018's most diverse job market in the nation. The report by LinkUp shows that Salt Lake City's jobs are spread more evenly across many industries. The Utah capital even beat out larger cities like San Francisco. Provo won the spot as the most diverse mid-market city. The report says that Utah and California have the most diverse job markets overall. New York City, Chicago, and Detroit were voted to have the least diverse job markets.
It's the season of giving, and dozens of organizations are kicking it all off with this year's Giving Tuesday. Newsline reporter Katie Karras caught up with one of those groups. Katie, how is the nonprofit using their own experiences to help others?
Just a Break from Cancer gives families a much-needed break from a long and expensive battle, something the Thorpe family knows all too well.
When you walk into Greg Thorpe's home, it's hard to miss the motivational signs decorating the house. And a sassy puppy named Journey. Family photos cover the walls, memories with his wife, Jen, and 3 kids, all manifestations of the Thorpe's own personal journey.
Found just totally out of the blue that Jen had colon cancer that had spread to her liver. And
Cancer, a diagnosis no family should ever have to face, but Jen's positivity shone through, along with her desire to help other families going through the same journey.
And then she would turn to me and say, we got to do something for this family.
For about 8 months, the Thorpes anonymously began purchasing hotel rooms, restaurant vouchers, and movie tickets to help cancer families simply take a break.
Nonprofit started was not as a nonprofit, just kind of a vision my wife saw of doing something for families that no one else was doing.
The act of kindness soon turned into the nonprofit Just a Break from Cancer.
Wow. I think she would love what we're doing. I know she does.
On December 20th of 2015, Jen passed away, but through Just a Break, her legacy lives on.
It almost infuses hope. Like if we can win this, if we can get something good, then maybe we can beat the cancer. So that was something we hadn't, I hadn't really planned on the Just a Break doing that, but it's one of the coolest things about it for me.
Today, Just a Break has donated more than 500 care packages, expanding to areas like Atlanta, Georgia, and plans for Chicago, Las Vegas, and New Orleans.
This is how we're going to honor her legacy.
This Giving Tuesday, Just a Break gave Nearly $5,000 were donated, and you can donate on their website or by going and starting your own chapter like the one here in Provo. Back to you.
Thanks, Katie.
The FDA has approved a new cancer drug. We'll tell you how this medication is changing the way cancer is treated.
A Chinese scientist defends genetically editing babies. We'll tell you what he modified and how the scientific community is reacting.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana.
How does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Indonesian investigators say that the plane that crashed last month should have never left the ground.
Their report states that pilots of Lion Air Flight 610 engaged in a tug-of-war with the plane's flawed automatic systems before it plunged into the ocean, killing all 189 passengers. Investigators say that the plane displayed these issues the night before and that it was not airworthy.
Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort is denying a new report that he secretly met multiple times with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. This report comes on top of accusations from special counsel. They say that Manafort broke his plea deal by lying to the FBI. Now, Manafort may face the full 18 charges he was given before he struck his plea deal for only 8 charges. In February, Manafort is due to be sentenced.
A Chinese scientist sparked international outcry when he defended genetically modifying babies at a Hong Kong conference. The scientist modified the genes of twin girls to make them immune to HIV. Scientists around the world are condemning his experiment as unethical or even monstrous, warning of unintended negative effects on the children later in life.
The FDA has approved what could be a breakthrough drug in treating some cancers. It's called Vigtrac V. The drug is designed to fight a specific genetic mutation in some forms of cancer, and it comes in an easy-to-take capsule or in liquid form. Doctors say some patients see big turnarounds, but they warn it doesn't work for all cancers and it is expensive.
2 local charities are warming hearts and bodies with their acts of service. We'll tell you who it is and what service they are doing.
Local mothers join together to support their LGBTQ children. We'll tell you how and what they're doing to show their love.
Find out where heavy rainfall is causing chaos and when rain and snow will hit up Utah. Up next.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Mama Dragon is an online support group that provides support to mothers of LGBTQ kids. The group is based in Utah, but has members from all around the world.
Exactly. I took a look at how the organization that is helping mothers have a circle of support that may otherwise be difficult to find.
When Joni Roe Draper's son came out to her as queer, she told him she loved him and that she would support him in any way. At first, Draper found herself conflicted as she wondered if members of her church would reject her son.
You know, the friends that he grew up with in the ward, none of them have rejected him. And so that has been really beautiful.
It was through chance that Draper first became aware of Mama Dragons, a Facebook group for mothers looking to support one another in their respective journeys with their LGBTQ children.
You know, all over the world. And so it's a lot, you know, do we know anybody in Dallas, Texas who can help this person?
Mama Dragons is open to mothers of LGBTQ people and of all faiths. The group is meant to be a safe space where mothers can get the support and encouragement they may not be getting in other communities they belong to.
Sometimes it's sharing ideas like, you know, I don't know what to do, my son.
If possible, Mama Dragons make time to meet with each other in person to discuss their personal experiences and even plan good deeds for others.
We might say, hey, there's a young person, they are in need of shelter, what can we do?
Draper is thankful for the moms that she has had the chance to meet with and relate to through Mama Dragons.
You know, when my son came out, I just said, there's going to be one place on this earth where you know you're loved, where you know you're accepted, and you never have to question that, and that will always be our home.
Currently, the Mama Dragons Facebook group has over 2,000 members from across the country and throughout the world. You can also learn more about the group on their website, mamadragons.org.
As the season gets colder, hearts are warmed with acts of charity. Newsline's Matthew Loveland went to see what 2 local charity groups are doing to help refugees and the homeless. Matthew?
We approach the season of giving, and right now volunteers from Stitching Hearts and BYU say that they have plenty that they want to give. Every Wednesday, volunteers from Stitching Hearts meet with students from volunteers from YServe to make quilts, clothing, and other essentials for refugees and homeless.
We're really excited because we're helping out these refugees. Most of our items go to Stitching Hearts worldwide, but we also go and we'll give these looms or the mats to the homeless.
Stitching Hearts has been partnered with BYU YServe for 2 years and has produced thousands of pounds of relief.
It's not just sitting around sewing teddy bears or making quilts, but we're actually doing this with a specific person in mind.
The goods made here are given to Stitching Hearts, where they are distributed to the displaced in third world countries and victims of natural disasters. Everything here tonight is made by a team of dedicated volunteers.
These youth, the young adults who come and serve, they are so excited. They love to serve. You don't see any cell phones out. They're excited about what they're doing, and it's good to be able to do something to serve somebody else.
It's just really fun to be with people who also want to help others and to have a moment to relax and de-stress.
It was super fun. Yeah. I didn't know these people before we came here. So
now we're besties.
Now we're all besties.
Yeah, we're
besties it's been good.
Because the group meets weekly, there is a constant need for volunteers and for donations. You can help them every week at the Garden Room in the BYU Wilkinson Center. Reporting for Newsline in Provo, I'm Matthew Loveland.
Tons of rain has been slamming down in Sydney, Australia. The rains have led to massive flash flooding that have caused 2 deaths. Cabs are swimming in the streets and trees are falling. Along with the heavy rain are strong winds causing power outages and more destruction. Australian meteorologists say in just 2 hours the amount of rainfall was equivalent to a month's worth of rain. What an incredible rainfall happening in Australia. Luckily, the rainfall in Utah isn't too bad. We can see the rain is the green on our map here, and the blue is actually chances of snow. And we can see, especially on the Wasatch Range, definitely chances of snow this weekend, but we also see we will be seeing more rain this weekend, into this weekend and this week. Our current temperature right now is 43 degrees outside, and today it should only warm up a little bit and with the high of 49 degrees. So it's luckily not bone-chilling cold, but across Utah we are in the mid-40s, even in Salt Lake 48 degrees. Looking into our lows, we can see that luckily we are avoiding those teen temperatures, and we're staying in the mid-30s range up in Logan, although with 26 degrees. St. George is also being affected by this cold system that is coming in, and we can see this week St. George will have some rain as well as dropping into the 40s this weekend. Our northern week forecast, we are looking at rain and snow into this weekend. We can see that the temperatures are dropping and will even go into the teens on Sunday. We'll be right back.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
BYU women's basketball was on the road yesterday as they took on the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. BYU came into the game 5-1 on the season and as a heavy favorite against SUU. However, the Thunderbirds were just able to pull it out. BYU struggled from the field, shooting just over 40%. That, along with some turnovers and some fouls, gave SUU 5 unanswered points to close out the game and gave BYU their second loss of the season. BYU will play tomorrow versus the talented Utah Valley University team. Following a disappointing loss to Houston this past Saturday, BYU men's basketball is hoping to bounce back today on the road against the Illinois State Redbirds. The Redbirds are undefeated at home this season and are currently on a 3-game winning streak. BYU has been struggling from the three-point line this season. In fact, they are one of the 50 worst three-point shooting teams in the country. This season, the Cougars are only shooting 28% from downtown, draining only 51 of 177 shots attempted from that distance. The Utah Jazz have had their ups and downs this season as they are currently sitting at 9-12. Following a 33-point loss Monday to the Indiana Pacers, the Jazz hope to bounce back tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. Starting shooting guard Donovan Mitchell will be returning from a rib injury that kept him on the bench last week. The Jazz are 7-6 on the road this year, while the Nets have struggled at home, being only 3-6. Brooklyn is also on a 3-game losing streak and struggling on the defensive side of the ball. While the women's soccer team is the most well-known soccer team here on BYU's campus, the men's team also has had some recent success. Newsline reporter Jeffrey Carroll caught up with players and the head coach to see what accomplishments they've recently achieved.
The BYU men's soccer team has gone undefeated for 2 seasons. That includes a national championship win last year. They're hoping to extend that record in the championships this year. The 2018 NIRSA National Championship for Collegiate Club Men's Soccer will take place from the 29th of November to the 1st of December in Alabama. The players and head coach know what it takes to prepare for nationals.
It takes a lot of discipline from the players. No matter what league you play in, no matter how good you are, you have to put in the energy every day at practice. These guys have done fantastic. They're undefeated right now. But if they took 1 week off and sat and said, hey, we're fine, then it can come back to bite them.
The expectation for the team will be high in the tournament, after winning it all last year and their 2-season unbeaten streak on the line. The team knows the keys to achieving that accomplishment.
The biggest thing is you're just taking it one practice and one game at a time. Because if you worry too much in the long run, you're not going to do so well. So if you take it one game at a time, just focus on the next game, and prepare yourself to be the best for that game, that's when you're going to be the best.
Guys on the bench who don't start really want to play. So if somebody's having a bad game or doesn't put in that effort, they're going to be replaced.
Nationals may not be as easy as BYU's 17-0 win over Boise State this season, but the boys are sure to compete. Reporting for Newsline in Provo, I'm Jeffrey Carroll.
'Tis the season and the famous Christmas lights on Temple Square are now on display. Newsline reporter Sarah Byington caught up with people who came from near and far to enjoy the lights.
My favorite thing about the lights is just the sparkles that they give off. I just love like seeing the glow and the sparkles.
The Christmas light tradition at Temple Square began in 1965, and people from all over the world have been flooding the square ever since. Hundreds of volunteers help set up an unknown amount of lights each year.
I come because it reminds me of the true spirit of Christmas.
I like the lights, but there's the spirit of Christmas too.
One thing is very clear. Viewing the Christmas lights is a family occasion.
I think for me it's always been a tradition. Come every year and to see the temple, and I think actually my favorite part about the lights is the nativity scene with all the little candles on the water. It's something that makes me happy.
There are 8 nativities on the grounds, which include a collection of ethnically diverse nativities. The lights will be up every evening through January 2nd. Reporting for Newsline on Temple Square, I'm Sarah Byington.
I saw those lights Monday night. They're always amazing.
Oh, I'm going there this weekend. I'm super excited. How about you guys? Have you guys
That might have been the kicker date that sold my wife on me. If you take her to the lights, you walk around, hold a hand, you get a little hot chocolate at the end. I'm telling you, it's not bad if you're looking for a little activity.
It is a beautiful, beautiful place. And if you go actually inside of the visitor centers or anything like that, there are missionaries from all over the world that are willing to talk to you and have so much fun.
It's really great. Well, thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
We thank you for being with us. Have a great day.